Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. My name is Leisure, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile of the gun-wielding Magical Musketeers. Before we get into the deck profile, I wanted to go over the playstyle of the Magical Musketeers. Magical Musketeers have an interesting mechanic where, as long as you have a Magical Musketeer on the field, you can activate a Magical Musket spell or trap from your hand during either player's turn, and if a spell or a trap is activated in that card's column, their mandatory effects will activate. Now all of them have that same base effect except for two, which is Magical Musketeer Yugioh and Magical Musketeer Max, which we'll go over later. Also, because of their playstyle, it's best to try and place them in columns where you think your opponent is going to play spells or traps. Also, this deck benefits going second, so that way you can place your Magical Musketeer monsters in the same columns as your opponent's set spells or traps. Now, it's just my opinion, but I do believe that this rogue deck will get a huge boost in power and a huge boost in play once the runic archetypes are introduced to Master Duel. Especially since with the runic archetypes, it will allow this deck to go first. So, let's get right into the deck profile. To start, we're running 3 Maxis, 3 Ash Blossoms. We're running 3 Magical Musketeer Caspar, which is a mandatory 3, because this is going to be your Searcher. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand, but not a card with the same name that was activated. Next, we have 1 Magical Musketeer Doc. This is going to be your mid to late game play. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, but not a card with the same name as that activated card. Running 3 Magical Musketeer Kid Brave, you can definitely run this at 2. This is going to be a draw power card. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can discard 1 Magical Musket card, then draw 2. Next are 3 Magical Musketeer Starfire, which is a mandatory 3. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Magical Musket monster from your deck in defense position. Your main target is going to be Caspar, or you can go into a Calamity, which will allow you to go into a rank 4 Exceeds play. Next are 2 Magical Musketeer Calamity. This is also going to be a mid to late game play. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can target 1 Magical Musket monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. Next are 2 Magical Musketeer Wilds, which is definitely going to be a late game play. Granted, you can use it early as an early sacrifice to summon Max. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can target 3 Magical Musket cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into your deck, then draw 1 card. Next is 1 Magical Musket Mastermind Yugioh, which we have mentioned before. You can tribute summon this card face up by tributing 1 Magical Musket monster. Once per turn, during your opponent's end phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of Magical Musket spells or trap cards activated this turn while this card was face up on the field. On to the spells, we have 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Monster Reborn. Next we have 1 Double or Nothing for the Utopia package, which is another reason why this deck goes well going second. Magical Musket Cross Domination. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn and change its attack and defense to 0. Also, it has its effects negated. 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Forbidden Droplet. For the traps, we are running 3 Magical Musket Desperado. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. That could either be a monster, magic, or a trap. Next, we have 1 Magical Musket Dancing Needle. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target up to 3 cards in the graveyards and banish them. That could be a monster, spell, or a trap, and it can be either your graveyard or your opponent's. So this is a great way to get around the Eldritch plays, the Live Twin plays, the Sky Striker plays, and currently a lot of the branded in red plays. We have 2 Infinite Impermanents, running 3 Magical Musket Last Stand. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a musket monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And 1 Magical Musket Fiendish Deal. Magical Musket monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card in your possession is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Fiendish Deal. On to the extra deck, we're starting with 1 Humming the Kijin, When this card is special summoned, you can target one Jin Xyz monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then you can attach up to 2 cards from your hand to it as Xyz material. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 Jin monster you control, and this card can attack directly. Now, seeing how there's no other Jin cards in this deck, you're going to be using its effect on itself so that way you can attack directly and go into a Zeus play. We have number 39 Utopia because we are running that double or nothing package. 1 Down Nerd Magician. During your main phase 2, you can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control, which is going to be your Humming. This card gains 200 attack for each material attached to it. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict pierce damage. If this card battles after damage calculation, detach 1 material from this card. You won't be attacking with Down Nerd Magician. You're going to then continue into your Zeus summon, so that way you have extra material for Zeus. Next, 1 number 70 Malevolent Sin. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it until your opponent's next standby phase. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can make this card gain 300 attack and increase its rank by 3. 1 Tornado Dragon. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 spell or trap on the field and destroy it. This is a good way to clear out your opponent's backfield if there's something hindering you. Next, 1 number 39 Utopia Double, once again for that double or nothing package. 1 Zeus. Running 2 Magical Musketeer Max, you can definitely run this at 3. If this card is link summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Add Magical Musket spells or traps with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Or special summon Magical Musket monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spells or traps your opponent controls. This is why this deck loves going second and loves playing against a deck that's very back row heavy. You have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Hip Hoshinigan. All light monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense, which is pretty much all your Magical Musketeers. Also, all dark monsters on the field lose 400 attack and defense. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 light monster in your grave, add it to your hand. 1 Lina the Light Charmer. You can target 1 light monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to. If this link card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 light monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You have 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Access Code Talker, and 1 Underworld Goddess. Well, that is the Magical Musketeer deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. I definitely feel that this rogue deck is going to be played a lot more, like I said, once Runic archetypes come to Master Duel. So, until next time, later.